All right, we are back at Lake Elsinore Casino, or the lake as it's referred to by the locals here, and we're in for our usual 300. So first hand of the session, we look down at Ace Queen 3-2, single suited in the big blind. There's a middle position open to 15, late position caller, and we go ahead and call. So we're going three ways to a flop. Having two wheel cards isn't the best, but I got a good price, and having this suited ace helps, but you usually don't want to typically play many hands with a lot of wheel cards. This is a better high-low hand than a high hand. So flop comes 9-8-2 with two spades. I check, middle position player checks, and the late position player bets 25, and I go ahead and fold. So here we look down at Ace 5-2, single suited on the button. There's a late position raised to 20. I go ahead and call. The blinds fold, so we're going heads up to a flop. Flop comes 8-8-6 with two hearts. He goes ahead and leads 40 into me, and not really the best flop for my hand, but I decide to call just to see what develops on the turn. Turn brings a king of diamonds, bringing in the backdoor flush draw. He checks to me, and I decide to check with two flush draws out there that I don't have. River brings a three of diamonds, bringing in the backdoor flush. He checks, and I just decide to check it down, see a showdown. He turns over 10-9, 7-6 double suited with the diamonds, so let him get there on the river, but I don't think that he was going to fold, flopping the wrap. So here we look down at Ace King Queen Jack double suited in the big blind. There's an under the gun open to 20. There's three callers, and we go ahead and make it 120. We get three callers, so we're going four ways to a flop. Flop comes King 9-6 with two hearts. So not the greatest flop, but obviously good enough for me to shove my remaining 85 in the middle, which is exactly what I do. And the only player that calls was the original raiser. So we're going heads up to a run out. Turn brings a four of hearts. Then the river brings a seven of hearts. So not the best board, but I show my hand and he says we're good. So we're taking it down. So here we look down at King Jack 7 single suited in the small blind. There's a middle position open to 15 and then a 3-bet from late position at 55. I ended up folding. The other player ended up calling. Flop ended up coming Queen 5-4 with two clubs. They ended up getting it all in. It was aces with enough flush draw versus a 8-high rundown, and they ended up running it twice and chopping. So here we look down at Ace Jack 9-9 single suited in the hijack. There's a early position open to 15, another caller. We go ahead and call. Both the blinds fold, so we're going three ways to a flop. Flop comes Jack 6-2 with two hearts. The original raiser bets 15. I go ahead and make it 50, and everyone folds, so we take it down. We end up folding a bunch of hands for about 4 orbits before we finally look down at Ace King 10-6 double suited in a straddled pot, and we decide to limp. Then both the blinds complete, straddler check, so we're going four ways to a flop. Flop comes Jack 8-6 with two hearts. Small blind leads for 40. There's another caller, and we decide to call, so three ways to a turn. Turn brings a three of diamonds, and the small blind decides to bet 160. Then the player behind pushes for 275. And back to me, I decide to fold. If I had some additional equity, like say the turn came a 9 or a queen, something along those lines, then I could have called, but as played, I folded. The small blind, of course, made the call for the additional 115, and they went to a river. River brought a 10, and the small blind shows Ace Jack 8-7 with two hearts, and the other player mucked. So he takes it down with two pair. So here we look down at Ace Queen Jack 10 single suited to the ace in the big blind. There's a middle position open at 20, and we go ahead and call, so we're going heads up to a flop. Flop comes Queen Jack 2 all spades, and I just decided to lead out here, kind of a blocker type bet of $20, and he folds, so we take it down. Here we look down at Ace King 2 single suited to the ace in the hijack. We go ahead and limp, folds around to the big blind, who decides to raise it to 15 total. I call, and we're going heads up to a flop. Flop comes Queen 6-2 rainbow. He checks, and I decide to bet 25, and he makes the call, so we're going to a turn. Turn brings a king, and when he checks to me, I decide to check back, so we're going to a river. River brings a 3, and when he checks to me, I decide to try to get some value. I bid 55, and he decides to fold, so we take it down. We went card dead for a bit and decided to rack up about 45 minutes later. What's up, guys? Wayne back here with you. Just finished up. I was in for 300, out for 564. So small profit, 264. Happy to get back on the winning side of things. It's been a little bit since I've actually walked to the cage and cashed out chips as opposed to just walking to my car in disgust. But I wanted to go over a couple things today. So I did correctly fold kings twice to aces, and I want to say that I think kings are probably the hand that I see beginning PLO players lose the most money on. You know, coming from Hold'em, obviously if you get kings, you're most likely going to be ahead. I mean, you occasionally do get cooler with aces, but you know, kings and Hold'em, you're pretty much, you know, it's never going to be a bad play essentially to get it all in pre-flop usually. But kings in PLO, you're pretty much, I mean, you know, I don't want to say never, but a lot of times you're going to be behind. I mean, most people don't really play queens that strong, so you are going to be up against aces a lot of the times, and even when you're not, you're up against a hand that you're pretty much flipping against, you know, like a rundown, double suited rundown of some sort. So just wanted to mention that. I did correctly fold kings twice today, but I don't want to say it's never the right play to call, you know, a 3-bet with kings, but a lot of times you are going to be behind. So really today, kind of a slower session. I just got into the one big pot earlier with the ace, king, queen, jack. Somehow ended up holding by the river. I'm assuming he must have had some kind of a like 10-10 jack queen or something. That's the only thing I can think of, but happy to get a win. If you guys enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe button. If your viewing experience could have been better, please let me know how down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.